Sweat is to warm as. I'm going to just try to make up a sentence. I sweat when it is warm. So I try to make a sentence that relates to two things. I sweat when it is warm. I chatter when it is teeth. No. I shiver when it is cold. That makes sense. I shiver when it is cold. I sweat when it is warm. I shed when it is fur. No. I stretch when it is muscle. No. I run when it is hurry. No. This is the best fit. I sweat when it is warm. I shiver when it is cold. I like B. I would pick it and quickly move on. Shard is to glass as. A shard is a little piece of glass that is broken off from a larger piece of glass. So a shard is, again, a smaller piece of glass that is broken off, like a little chip of glass is a shard of glass. So a morsel to hunger, no, a morsel is a little bit of food, and hunger is being hungry, the state of being hungry. This one's out. Point is to auger. An auger is a tool that has a point at the end of it, but this one doesn't work. Crumb is to cookie. This one I think works, right? If you have a cookie and a little piece breaks off, it's a crumb. If you have a glass and a little piece breaks off, it's called a shard. So the little piece, when it comes to glass, is a shard, and the little piece when it comes to a cookie is called a crumb. I like C. D, sand is to beach. I think sand is found on the beach, but sand is not a piece that's broken off from the beach. So this one's out. Metal is to hammer. A hammer may be made of metal. This one doesn't work. I would stick with C and quickly move on. Empty is to trash can as. If you empty a trash can, it is ready to be used again. That's going to be my sentence. If you empty a trash can, it's ready to be used again. If you wipe a cloth, the cloth is not ready to be used again. Whatever you wiped might be ready to use again, but not the cloth. So this one's out. If you fill a dumpster, it's not ready to be used again. It's full. If you rinse a dish, it might be ready to be used again. I like C. If you vacuum a dust, it'll be ready to be used again. That doesn't really make sense. The dust is not going to be ready to be used again. If you wring a mop, the mop will be ready to be used again. You've just wrung it. So I like these two. I need to find the one that fits the relationship up here best, or better out of the two now. Alright, so let's make up a new sentence. If you empty a trash can, you remove the impurities from it. Okay? If you rinse a dish, do you remove the impurities from it? I think so. You wash the food off. If you wring a mop, do you get the impurities out of the mop? Do you remove the impurities? Yeah, I think you do. You get rid of the dirty water. So I'm coming up short again, okay? If you picked C or E, I can see where you're coming from. Tough call now. I think E is going to be a little bit better, and I'll tell you why. When you empty a trash can, you take impurities out of it. You take the actual impurities out of the can, and when you wring a mop, you actually take the dirty water out of the mop itself. But when you rinse a dish, you're just washing the impurities off the dish. There are no impurities actually in the dish to come out. They're just on the dish. So I think the trash gets into the trash can the way dirty water can get into a mop, and food on a dish doesn't really get into the dish itself. So it's a really tough call, but I think E is better. If you pick C, I understand why, but I think E is a slightly better choice. I'm going to pick it and move on. Ruler is to scale. Now let's think about this. A ruler is something that measures length, and a scale is something that measures weight. So I look down the answer choices and I see length here and weight here. So a ruler measures length the same way as scale measures weight. So you have to look for these kind of relationships as well. A ruler measures length, a scale measures weight. So sometimes the relationship is going to look like this to this, but in this case it's actually this to this. So keep an eye out for that. A ruler measures length, a scale measures weight. I would pick C and quickly quickly move on.